renounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want a ring. Yeah, we all want to be free.
It's Tuesday, and that means it's time to talk some Detroit Lions on Lions Nation Unite. And I got a special guest here, folks. It's a song is named after him. You put it together, and you get Dose of Mike Will. We got Dose Baby, Dose of Dion. What's going on, man?
Oh man, my Squidward pain's going crazy back there, man. What
It was huge. Oh my God, that dude was a massive dose of Dion. Look, I've met him many times. He's a big guy, but I think I made him look a little bit big. He kind of looks like the Fonz a little bit. I gotta say, man, he's looking crisp and clean. We're ready to talk some Detroit Lions. Are you, Dose?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Look, this is what I've been drinking today. So you know when you bring out that mango nectar, you ready to go.
Oh yeah, man. You bring out that mango nectar, but we got people also who's ready to go who has not had mango nectar. That is Chrome, Jamie Ward, John Ball, Weston Lyons, Oscar B, Chris Cawbaugh, Giovanni Lyons. Let me see. Let me look. Okay, you're a little bit, you're smaller now. You're a little bit better now. You're not looking too shabby.
You look good.
All right, Dose, I got to hear your thoughts on this last game. Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings. We're just going to do this quick because we both just want to move on from this game. But I want to hear his thoughts. Thoughts of this game. What do you got going?
Very sad. Very sad. I'm sure me and you were probably on the – because I just know how you react to like certain games and how things go down. I think we're on a similar – of wavelength based on how we see things. And I think this one, we probably were in the same boat. Like, it just felt like we completely gave them the game. I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, we looked at Minnesota, we thought, hey, they're a pretty good team. And it was like, okay, you can understand losing to this team. And I think coming into the year, I had us losing this game anyway. But it's the fact that you had it, like the way that we had it, and you felt like you played better football, and you lose it like that. It's just, it makes it so much worse. Like the grand look I have at it is like, okay, I'm not discouraged because it tells me a lot of good about this team, the way they played them. But at the same time, to know that you have it and how short the season is, it's just very sad. It was such a tough way to lose, man. I'm kind of a little bit like, even rewatching it today, I'm like, how did we lose this game? Like, really, how did we lose? I don't know. It's very upsetting. So I'm with you. Let's move on to the next game.
Yeah, look, Dose is a nice guy. He's good and punctual. He doesn't curse. This was me. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, edit, beep. I was very upset with the last couple minutes of that game. I felt like we defeated the Minnesota Vikings on all fronts. I mean, we were better than them, and we took that out. But we're going to move on from the negative stuff. That's just the way we're going to do it here because I'm tired of negativity. It's been going on since the game ended on Sunday. Let's talk a little bit of positive, though. Jeffrey Okudah, Dose of freaking Fonz. What is going on with Okudah? This guy is a stud, bro. He's taking it to the next level, man. Number one.
Yeah. No.
Talk about.
Yeah. You're 100% right. You're 100, and it's awesome to see it. Like, you felt like athletically he had this kind of skill set. And even I thought last year in the one game he played against San Fran, like, he showed so much good. But to now see it in the, like, I mean, just think about it. Just think about compared to last year, what it was like when we faced Justin Jefferson both times, the numbers that he put up on us. We had Amani on him. Now, I think this game, it seemed like we did, some good things to help out Jeff. Like, we gave him some safety help a lot of times, and we figured out ways to kind of double team at specific moments. But it wasn't the entire game. It wasn't like the entire game we double teamed him. Jeff Okudah did a heck of a job. I mean, and he looks like the clear number one at this point. That's what he is. But it just seems like week after week, he's just getting more and more comfortable. Like you get little things here and there, but it's in today's NFL, man, like guys are going to get beat. They're going to give up plays. You can't be touching anybody past 5 yards. It's so against them that you're going to have to use safeties to help against players like this. So no matter how he does it to limit a guy like he did is incredible. It's incredible. And it makes you feel so good that like, okay, we feel like we got our one. Now we're figuring out, now we're like battling with the two when Jacobs comes back. Cause I know last year he did real well against Thielen. But it feels so nice to have that. I mean, it really does. And we'll see. We'll have to finish the season. But at this point, like, it's just him being out there, and he just looks so impactful for this team. He doesn't look like he's missed any kind of step.
Hey, show some love to Okudah by putting ones in the chat. One. This guy is number one. Yeah. And he has been balling out, beasting. And I don't want to hear any excuse. Well, he had help. I don't care. He freaking stuffed Jefferson, one of the best wide receivers in all of football. And nobody is getting on him so far this season. We got a matchup here coming up with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and I'm pretty convinced whoever Okudah decides to go against, they ain't getting anything. They ain't doing. They're going to have a long, frustrating day. I'm convinced of it now. I wanted to see what he did against Jefferson, and he shut him down. But Tracy Walker, done for the year. That one is a killer. He was a good safety for the Detroit Lions this year. Elliott, pretty good too. But what do we do to alleviate the pain of losing Tracy Walker, a veteran, a captain for the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, I know for me, you probably had the same thought. Like the first thing that comes to mind immediately is Iffy. Like I think you actually brought up in the chat when I was live streaming is like Iffy being a healthy scratch is now that, okay, he is healthy. Does he start to kind of play his way into potentially getting snaps there? I think for the meantime, they rock with just Juju Hughes and Deshaun Elliott. But I think then you're talking about like down the road, could those guys start mixing in and potentially getting some time? I could see that being the case now that Tracy Walker, because I mean, when Tracy Walker was there was really no way for those guys to work up past because they would have had to pass Juju Hughes, who's kind of like the solid vet, and they're not really playing anyway. So how do you jump that guy and jump a starter? It's not going to happen. But now that Tracy Walker's not there, you have potential to kind of make up some room there. And then, of course, you talk about if you had cornerback and things like that. But for me, I think Juju Hughes actually did a really nice job. I thought he did really well. We know he's limited in certain spots. And I think on that last play, there was a breakdown between him and Okudah, how he was going to play his guy because they didn't have any safety help for Mike Hughes, or I think it was Mike Hughes. But aside from that, I thought he played a really good game. So I'm actually kind of comfortable with where we are at safety. But Tracy Walker, I think his big impact you feel is against the run. And that's where Juju Hughes is going to have to do a lot for us because T-Walk's always been big time, just making hits, setting the tone defensively. I think Elliott's picking up some of that. He's going to have to. And then Juju seemingly has been pretty reliable up to this point. So now it's just seeing him on the field all the time. What does that look like?
Yeah, Juju for sure. And again, we got a pretty good coach who knows how to coach up defensive backs. We've seen it all last year. I'm confident that they can do. Again, he's not going to be Tracy Walker. That's not going to happen. It does hurt losing him. Afutu Melifonwu, I am with you 100%. I want to see him on the field. I want him to be utilized. That big frame, big body, what he did last year against coverage was phenomenal job, and I think he can do perfectly fine throwing him in the game. Give this guy a chance to ball out and make some plays, and I think he can. So it gives an opportunity for a player like him to be able to make an impact. You know, when somebody goes down, it's the next man up mentality, and legitimately it has to be in this case. Now, we did have some injuries offensively. Amon-Ra St. Brown dinged up. He may not play. You know, I'm sure you heard the report today that, you know, it's the x-rays and everything was negative, but still, it could be a little bit of process. What can the Detroit Lions do if Amon-Ra St. Brown cannot play against the Seattle Seahawks?
Well, I just got to say, Mike, the way you're kind of like blending in with this background looks fire as heck. Okay, I'm just noticing that. That looks sweet. Mike, that looks good, man. I like that. That's clean. That's clean. I see you. You got the clouds behind you. What? Okay, no, but for not having St. Brown, yo, it's crazy. Like I'm surprised he kept coming back in the game in that game, and I don't even know if he was 100% right when he was in there. I don't think he was. It would almost surprise me if St. Brown missed his time just because of how he seems to go about it. But if he does, I think they'll change some things up. But I think Khalif can do a lot of what St. Brown. A lot of the roles I would say that he's played. I mean, we know he's got more speed, so they've used him in different packages in different ways. But I think he can kind of play a lot of the St. Brown role because he's another guy that we know he'll block. And St. Brown's used to block. And I think he can do that. We know he's cool with the ball in his hands as well. So I think you're losing just like in terms of build, he's not like the same. He's a little bit more of like I don't even know what to call him. Like a little more of a speed receiver, I guess. Like, he's just that. Like he caught like one pass in that game on a little like whip route. But I think he can play some of the St. Brown role. But I think what St. Brown brings is he brings attention, man. Like you come into the game and you see St. Brown, you're like, that guy. We all know what he's about now. St. Brown draws attention. I don't know if Khalif brings that. Maybe that's good. Maybe he doesn't bring that same attention, but maybe that also works against us. Because I think anytime St. Brown is out there, he's got the defense's eyes. And I think Goff trusts the heck out of him. Like he'll just put it out there. If he feels like he's got some, he's going to give him a chance. Doesn't always hit it, but he'll take the chance. We'll see if he does that with Khalif as well. Because they didn't seem to have the same connection specifically over the top, but St. Brown really hasn't, been killing teams over the top for us.
I love to see Quintez Cephas in there as well. I want to see him get some catches. Yeah. The guy has freaking Spider-Man hands, can catch anything thrown his way. And before he got injured last year, he was making an impact for the Lions offense, and that was before Amon-Ra St. Brown was really starting to take off in his own. So if they can get him involved, I think the Lions can be perfectly fine until he gets back. DeAndre Swift, he's not going to be playing in this game. He's injured. We could be waiting until after the bye week. What can the Lions do to mitigate his loss? You got some running backs for this football team. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is one I think we were all kind of prepared for it. You hate it because Swift is crazy explosive. Even though this game, I thought to me, like he left some, he didn't look right to me in this game. I really didn't feel like he looked right in this game versus like Washington. He just looked different. But with that, I think they all had a plan like this could happen. And plus, it's just the nature of the position. I do credit Swift because these last couple of games, I don't know if he's been 100%, but he seems to he's trying to get out there. But I love our running back depth. I mean, you can go to the practice squad. I don't think we got to make any moves. Our running back 4 right now is Jefferson. We could get, Justin Jackson involved a little bit if you want some more of that speed. I thought Jamal was playing really well last week. And then on top of that, Craig Reynolds, like they're already mixing Craig in. So he can bring everything to the table. It's a less flashy, I guess, player when they're out there. They both kind of seem similar, not very fast, not going to take the top off. But they do all of the things. Like Jamal's going to pass protect, Craig will pass protect. They can both pass catch. So I really don't think this is going to hurt us very much. It may, but I think in comparison to the last few weeks, I don't think this is going to hurt us.
I'm with you. I talked about this earlier today. I think the Detroit Lions, they built this depth for this reason. Again, they knew the issues with DeAndre Swift, and Justin Jackson's got that speed. So if they really want to get that speed, that different dimension that they're going to lose with Swift, you put him in there and you give him some of those touches, and he will get those big yards. Now he's not DeAndre Swift, of course, but you really don't need that when you got a freaking epic offensive line like the Detroit Lions that just maul everybody and open up holes the size of a freaking black hole. So, they have it down with the line. I think they built it right way regarding that run game, not just using a one player, but building 4 to 5 guys that really can push that bad boy. And guess what? We're going against a defense in the Seattle Seahawks that are 31st against the run, and the Detroit Lions are 3rd in NFL in the run. And I don't know about you, Dosa Dion, but that is something this coaching staff should be taking big-time advantage of.
Dude, I didn't even know that, but now that you're saying that sounds pretty darn good. That sounds really good. And because you have to go through and make myself known of their roster. I really don't know their roster like that, like specifically their front 7. I don't even know what kind of guys are throwing at us. There's no name that comes to mind immediately. So I would think, I feel like we've had some great challenges. I actually think this last week Minnesota gave us the toughest punch of any team has on the defensive line up to this point, specifically when trying to run the ball. But even then, we ran the ball pretty darn well with Jamal and Swift. So, based on that stat and the fact that I can't think of anybody for Seattle right now, I think we should eat next week.
Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit of stats so you and everybody else can know this out there. Let's start with the Seattle Seahawks offense. They rank 28 right now with overall. 28th overall with 21 passing attack, 29 rushing attack, 29 points per game. Offense, not that good. But again, they're going against the Detroit Lions defense, in which ranks 30 right now. Lions offense, ranked 3. We are 16 pass. We are 3 in rushing and 2 points per game. We're going to be putting on those Seattle Seahawks. And the defense for Seattle there, they are ranked 25 overall, 19 passing, 31 in the run game, at 21 points per game. So that means the Detroit Lions are going to run it down their throat. And we don't need to have a DeAndre Swift to do that. We can do by committee in this one. If we've been gashing good teams like the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line, like the Washington Commanders defensive line, I think we can go ahead and be smash mouth against a defensive line in a front seven. That's not so good. They got one player on there, Jordan Brooks. He's a 32 tackle linebacker, but that's it. They're a no-name defense, and it's not us going to Seattle. They're coming to the D, and I think the Detroit Lions are going to run all up in that mug. What do you think Ben Johnson is thinking right now when he reads these stats?
Yo, I love the way you broke that down, man. And you know what though? My thought even after this last game, as tough as it was, is like there's teams like Seattle on this schedule that I just don't think can score with the Lions. I don't, and I think we could be slowing down a little bit, but I don't know how many teams can slow down the Lions this year. And I definitely don't think Seattle, after hitting those numbers for sure, but I don't know. I just don't think they can keep up scoring wise in this game. And, you know, Ben Johnson, he loves running football. Lions love to run football, and all their play action they did off it last week specifically. I'm with you. Like, they should eat in this game. They should go crazy. And I think this is one where they could easily drop tons of points. You saw Seattle against Atlanta. You saw them against, they beat Denver, but they're not really scoring. Denver isn't scoring outside of that game really either. So I just don't think Seattle can score with us. And I think that will probably get them in a tough spot early, and they'll start to lean on Geno, which is not going to be ideal for them. So I would assume that's what Ben Johnson's looking to do, is get on them early, especially after last week. Like, that's at home. You want to get this crowd fired up after a tough loss. You get going early, get on top of them early. And that's probably what he's aiming to do. And if you can run the football, which it sounds like they're going to be able to, they could blow them out.
Yeah, I think they're just going to run it down their throat. And again, our defense is not good. Let's be honest here. And it puts our defense on the sideline. When you run the football, you're really making the Seattle Seahawks defense tired. In the fourth quarter, it's going to be chunk yards running. That's the whole point on running the football. And aside from that, when we do talk about our defense, in which, again, is not that good, but there is a good part to our defense, and that's our defensive line. Seattle Seahawks offensive line rank 27. Geno Smith's getting sacked quite a bit. I think that Aidan Hutchinson, if healthy, same with Charles Harris and Julian Okwara, is going to get back to form in this game. A little bit of embarrassment against the Minnesota Vikings, not getting the pressure that they should. But again, this is a bad offensive line at home. And I got to say, I'm sure they're very angry about that loss that occurred. What do you think Aidan Hutchinson and this defensive line can do against Geno Smith in that offensive line? I can't hear you. You muted. I can't hear you. You're so excited. Let me see. Oh, my God. What is going on with Dose? You're good on my end. It's something you did. Cannot hear Dose, baby. Well, that's a rut row. Dose of Dion did something to his computer. Go in and go out. And then we'll figure it out from there. While he tries to do that, I think that the Detroit Lions are going to get some pressure with their defensive line. Again, if you are a Lions fan, you understand this. And what's going to happen with the interior of the defensive line, that may be the question mark there. Isaiah Buggs, Lee McNeil. But Aidan Hutchinson is a very good player. I understand a lot of heat that he did not get pressures from the Minnesota game. But it's a little bit different. I can hear it. Go ahead, Dion.
Am I good now?
Good.
All right, awesome. Yeah, we're talking about the defensive line, right? As we were talking
pressure,
about.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, look, I thought Aidan Hutchinson specifically, as the game went on, I thought he got a lot better. I thought he came out I thought they just, they struggled to have a plan against the run in this game. And it was a lot of different spots. I don't think it was just one. But I think specifically on the interior, we didn't win as much as we had in the past. There were times we were getting kind of blown off the ball in there. I thought, the pressure side of it, they did a lot of good things to slow down our pass rush. So I'll give them credit for that. They did a lot of good things. We got a couple pressures here and we would hit him with some twist. But aside from that, I thought they did a lot of good. Sometimes they would help on Charles Harris. All the play action and running that they did, I thought really hurt our ability to get after the quarterback. And then the wins that we did have, there would be another level. Like Hutchinson would beat a guard, boom, here's the running back, and he stopped. So there was a lot of that last week. And I think with this one, I think a lot of it played through the play action. It might be the flip side again, like stop the run, Lions will probably get after the quarterback. But, yeah, I think the way that they came out was not ideal on the defensive line. I think they'll probably want to come out a lot faster because I thought they started to get it going a little bit and they had some, like, good spurts. But as a unit, they have to be better. But still, I think this, again, they're probably going to look to get out fast because, yeah, it's tough, man, when you don't hit the quarterback at all. I think Hutchinson had, like, one quarterback hit. The only pressure you really get is from the linebackers. So, yeah, they're going to want to bounce back.
Yeah, and he was a little bit nicked up. And ever since he got nicked up in the game, in the Commanders, he wasn't the same. So I'm sure he was a little bit nicked up, and once he gets a little bit better, he can get his full potential out there that he is. He is Hurricane Hutchinson. This guy will come at you and will knock you down, and I think he will get back to form as he should be. But Geno Smith is mobile. That is an issue for the Detroit Lions, though. So, Dan, now he's not we're talking about Lamar Jackson here. He's not an elite mobile quarterback like that, but he's got some wheels, kind of like a Carson Wentz. Do you think that's going to be an issue for the Lions? Should we look to contain? Should we just play like we are playing a Kirk Cousins, or are we playing like a quarterback that stands in the pocket?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I think, and I haven't seen enough Geno, I'll get into it, but from what I know about him, I would assume you played this. I would assume like the Lions played the Vikings, how I kind of expected. I thought they played a lot more softer coverage. I didn't think they blitzed as often as they had in the past. But I would say this is probably the game where at home, Aaron Glenn starts to bring the heat again. And I think really Jalen Hurts is kind of an outlier right now in the NFL. Like Lamar Jackson is kind of similar maybe, but I think just with how the style of offense goes, they're kind of an outlier. He has like one read and he'll run, or they do so much with him running the football that I feel like he's just different. Geno Smith may be mobile, like you said, like Carson Wentz, but you were able to get after Carson Wentz. So I don't think we'll have – I mean, from what I know, I don't think we'll have a problem with him. I mean, last year we did pretty good against Lamar. We did good against Kyler, but it was like the Jalen Hurts, which is just different, which gave us problems. But really giving everybody problems running the ball. So I would assume we're gonna dial back the heat up in this one, not having to worry about a Justin Jefferson, I would think. And because, they like to do that quick stuff to Jefferson. And we'll probably get after Geno and get some sacks back this week that we didn't get last week.
Yeah, I think that, again, it's a better offensive line unit for the defensive line. It's a weaker one, so we'll see what they can do there, get some pressure. It's all about pressure, at least for our defense and running the football. I think this is going to be an old game style for the Lions. Run the football, stop the run, get pressure. We don't need to do an aerial attack. We don't need to have 5,000 passing yards in this game. Just run the football, do it old school, and get on to the next game. Who we're facing non-Mac Jones. He's not going to be in the game, and so the Lions have a chance there to go to the Meadowlands and get a W, and then we got the bye week. After the bye week, injured player may make his debut. Oh, Jameson Williams. Are you excited to see Jameson Williams? I don't know about you, man. I'm like jumping out my seat.
It's unreal, man. And just to think about what he's like, to me, this passing offense, specifically last week, I thought was their best week. And it looked comfortable. I mean, you had Jameson, the factor. I don't even know what to expect. I just don't know what to expect from just the element of him being on the field. Like Chark is fast and he gets open, he can get separation and stuff like that on their play action shots. But what factor does Jameson brings when he's on the field? Like, how does that change defenses? We haven't really had a bomb yet, right? I mean, we have chances. We've had to Chark. We had one Josh Reynolds last week. We got a shot. But we haven't had like a bomb yet. I feel like it's setting up where the first time we get Jameson, he's just 65 yards or something. It's just he's gone. That's going to happen unless they adjust their defense for it because he's not just fast. He's like crazy fast. So any of those double moves, man, he's probably just going to get a couple steps. Not one, a couple steps on a guy.
The Black, I can't say his last name, says Penny will have a breakout game. I'm sure he will because we're not good at stopping the run. So if you're a fantasy guy, you could look at Penny. He's at 141 yards rushing so far this season. We have been getting killed in the run game, and that's just something that's been happening every single week. That's something we got to bite until we get back Levi and Wuzurike, till we get back Joshua Pascal, till we get the interior of this defensive line, because right now it's hurting. So we don't have a player like an Ndamukong Suh. We should, but we don't have a player like him right now to kind of be that enforcer. Jameson Williams is going to be – I cannot wait to see what defenses do and how this offense is going to look, how it opens everything up, even more than what we got. Our offense is explosive. You throw J-Mo on one side, Amon-Ra St. Brown, is there going to be anyone even around him? Like, it's like, oh my God, like, pick your poison. You can't double every single player. You got Swift, you got JMO, you got Amon-Ra there. You got Josh Reynolds, probably the most underappreciated player on this football team. He's making big plays, or it's getting the play action pass. So I cannot wait to see that happen. We still need defense, but that's a positive direction for us. Let's go ahead and go to score prediction, then we'll do mailbag. We'll talk to everybody in the chat. We'll talk to the subscribers, see how everything's going. I know you haven't done your initial, looking at the Seattle Seahawks team, so you don't have all the stats, and this is not going to be an official prediction for him because we got to wait till he looks at it. But what do you think, just right off rip, thinking this will be for the Lions versus the Seattle Seahawks?
See, you brought up Penny, man. I just get bad flashbacks to
I know.
last year. Oh, my gosh. Don't bring that up, man. I'm sitting here happy, and I'm like, wait, we gave up 50 points to this team last year, right? No, I don't think it's going to be like that. I don't think it's going to be like that at all, really. I think at home, this is a game you can light them up, man. Now, they're then competitive, right? They've been competitive in pretty much all their games, seemingly. So you would think that would be the case. But I think the Lions are due, man. 31-14 feels right early.
31-14. So you're talking about a butt smoking over there. You're saying this ain't going your way quick. Look, we're due, I guess, for one. We're due for a blowout. Yeah, at some point we got to have one, right?
Hey, you saw Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, Jesus, Jacksonville smoked those Chargers, man. Holy moly, that was a blowout. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I'm going back and forth. I don't want this to be a trap game. That's my fear. Because you just never know. They do got it. They got this is the Detroit Lions. How many times have we fallen into something like this? You don't want it to be a trap game. But logical thinking, not Detroit Lions doing stupid calls at the end of a football game. Dan Campbell going for a field goal. I would have Lions winning 34-31. I think they'll put up some points, but this is the Detroit Lions, folks. This is our head coach, and Detroit does Detroit. What do you guys got in the comment section? We're going to go to you now for questions. It's the mailbag segment. If you got something to ask Dose of Dion. Ask him. He's looking like the Fonz right now. This guy is freaking swag on swag crime.
Man. I couldn't find my hat, so we just rocked it, man. That's that.
You don't need no hat with that hair, man. It's making me jealous, man. Look at that beauty hair. All right, we got Black. I can't say your last name. 31-14 the first half, 34-38. That would be a terrible loss if you're up by a mile and you lose like that. That would be absolutely killer right there. And we are live on Facebook. So if you're a Facebooker, comment, and your comment should pop up here. It should, in theory. Theory means it's possible, and it should. We'll see if it actually does. But if you got a question, do hashtag Dose of Dion. Hashtag Dose, hashtag Fonz, hashtag Smash the Hole by Paul Ginder. That was that's a good one. I love Smash the Hole. Hashtag Dose with hair. Oh, yeah, that's a good one, Weston Lyon. It says, what rating would you give us so far this season?
Is this for you or is this for me?
It's for you. For you.
Thought they were. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna be a 5 out of 10 if that's how we're doing this.
Okay.
What we expected showed up, and then at the same time you let one get away. So I'll go 5.
Okay. Devin Davis, hashtag Smash the Hole. Should we blame Dan Campbell for that late game call? Yeah, because even Siebert was injured. I don't know if you knew this. He has a groin injury. He had a groin injury. He still has one. And they put him out there for a field goal that he's never made before. And he missed one in that game. Yes. Do you, Dose of Dion, blame him for that?
See, you adding that information just makes it even worse. I mean, there's that decision. There's no part of that decision to me that made any sense, even if it was happening. Like, if you'd have made it, I wouldn't have been happy. It's like, why do we kick a field goal? We need 4 yards, man. I'm not going back into it. Yes, you should blame Dan Campbell.
All right, man. That's when Dose says that. Look, man. He's the nicest.
Yeah.
He drinks that. Look, I drink Kool-Aid, but he drinks that Kool-Aid like crazy. And yes, that is some blue Kool-Aid right there. I really hope J-Mo don't break your heart if he's not the player you want him to be. He's an injured player. He's got to take time. 5 games to get him to game speed. Of course it's going to take time. I don't expect him to be out there and doing full play week 1. He'll probably have said plays, go deep, maybe getting a certain amount of account. I just want to see what the defense looks like. I want to see how, because it's going to change the dynamic of the Lions offense. So, and just having him out there, seeing his number 9, by the way, will be really nice. I know a lot of people are like, number 9, we can't do that. But I'm excited. I don't expect him to go out there and be full-on blow first freaking game. Should we rest St. Brown and Swift? Do we need them this week? I say yes, rest. Well, I don't think Swift is playing until after the bye week. But yes,
right.
Rest. If Amon can go, he can go, but I would say rest. Just safe side. What do you got doing, Dion?
Yeah, same page as you. We just said I don't think we need Swift, so you let him rest, man, because we're trying to get him through a season, not, week 4.
Oh, you just got called out here, man. This is a
I didn't see you, and then I saw his face.
Hashtag Dose. When you coming back to Free For All Friday? Detroit Lions on the prowl. You just, man, I got to do
Please.
Got him.
Yeah, he did. Nah, man. I'm glad he called me out, though. I'll be back on soon, man. I'm getting it figured out over here.
He's the procrastinator. We got Devin Davis here. Hashtag FGB. Who going to take over for Walker since he out this season? I'll let you take this one, Dose. I think you, Juju, know who.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you just said on it. Juju Hughes will be in his spot, man. But maybe we do get a little bit of iffy. Actually, maybe we get a little Kirby. I don't know. But Juju can play, man. He played well.
Iffy and Kirby. That sounds like a video game. I think we got to have Iffy and Kirby. I think we got it. We got to get a shirt there. Great to see you guys together. 2 studs of Detroit, man. Hey, thank you, Chris D. You're a stud. You're a stud. I'm a dud. That's the way it is. Hunter says, hashtag Dose, should Lions possibly go after Daniel Jones? I feel like the Lions offensive line could see him similar with Josh Allen. Still have similar stats on a shizzy O-line. What do you got with that one?
No. Now, that's not to say, like, I hate Daniel Jones or something. But to me, what we're doing right now, what's starting to come together offensively, I'm very excited about, and I'm not touching that. But Daniel Jones, man, he's been doing some things. Do I trust him? No, man, I don't trust Daniel Jones.
Draft your quarterback. If you're going to go for a different quarterback, draft it. This is a good draft to acquire talent in the quarterback position. Draft it that way, or go crazy and get Lamar Jackson. That's what I'm saying. No, man, that run game, go. We got Raw Detroit here. Hashtag panel, Mike and Dose. What do you guys think we should do with DeAndre Swift going further? Give him extension or trade him if he can't stay healthy. We'll both answer this one. I'm gonna throw this one to you, Dose. This is a situation here. Now, if you don't know, DeAndre Swift is injured quite a bit. What do you think about this?
Oh, man. I mean, I don't know what money we're talking, but it's hard to give him. I can't even say extension right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure if I want to trade him, but I can't consider extension. I mean, he's just got to play, man. It's just, and to me, again, we're having success without him. So as much as I think he helps our team, it's not. I don't think it's worth throwing big money at it. You can't be looking at it like that right now. But maybe the road. But he's got to come back this season, I think, and show us some things.
I agree with you there. We can't pay him big money if he's inability to stay healthy. And this offensive line is doing a phenomenal job. And you can just it's easy to draft a running back. If you want to get a guy, you can just every year there's always a guy that comes out in the draft that you can get for sure. And if you try to trade, I don't know what you would even get. I think a lot of people would kind of be on the way you're thinking right there too. And I think they would undervalue us, and it'd be pointless at that point. I'd rather just have Swift. I'm not going to just throw him away just to throw him away. He is a dynamic player when on the field. And what if we get to a point where you're in a playoff push and you just need that one freaking play? He does that for you. So Hunter Carpenter says, who should the Lions pursue at kicker? Good Lord. Should we talk about Siebert? Should we pursue a kicker? Should we go ahead and just keep Siebert? What do you think, man? I'm pretty mad at Siebert, but again, he was injured. What do you think?
Yeah, I didn't know he was injured, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I don't know what. So on your practice squad, you have Rosas, right? I mean, maybe
Rosas.
Is that something that you consider, like, maybe giving him some look? I
don't
think Patterson,
look, man.
Patterson's on someone practice squad right now.
Jacksonville, so killing it.
Yeah, Jacksonville's a problem. I don't know. I think you're rocking with Seibert, man. You made that decision. You kind of felt like you were going to make that coming off of last year. I think you roll with it at least for now. It's not like he missed a 30-yard field goal or something. So I guess I'll give him that. But I don't know what other options you really have that are great right now.
I told you there. I love you, Dan Campbell, but I told you Patterson was the real effing deal. And you went with Siebert. Come on, man.
Hey, that bitch
God, I knew it was going to be
you
that way, too. Dang it. You just know it. Okay, this is a good one. Dose, will Hawk and Chark step up? St. Town sits. St. Brown, really.
I like that.
What is going on with Chark and Hawk? And Amani, let's throw him in there. What the hell is up with these guys?
We're just throwing Amani in there, man.
I'm gonna throw him in there because the regression from Amani is insane. I did not expect this. Hawk is like barely getting used. He's regressed, and DJ Chark is, he's there. Like, what the hell? What's going on, Dose?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, and it's unfortunate with Chark specifically because he was so big all training camp. And it just feels like we haven't been able to get that, like, one shot to him. But at the same time, I don't think he's been bad. I mean, I don't think he's been bad for us. I just feel like we've missed just by a little bit, a couple shots. Last week, it was good to get him going early, but then he only had the 2 receptions on the day. So I feel like he's going to continue to come around because this offense, like we saw last week with their run game, man, the play action is becoming like such a big part of it. He'll come around, I think. Hawkinson is a weird one, man. Hawkinson is a weird one because I think his blocking's getting better. I think, from what I see, he's like, oh, that looks pretty good from Hawk. But it's always been up and down. It's always going to be up and down, I think, as a tight end. Like, you're never going to be able to rely upon him, like, locking up a DN. And then the pass catching, it hasn't been great to start the year. But would I say he was bad last game? I don't think I'd say he's bad last game. It's just opportunities weren't. He didn't have that many opportunities. You can go on your boy Amani because you wanted to throw him in there randomly to the offensive discussion.
I don't know what's going on with Amani, man. Like, I like Amani. And the fall from grace has been crazy. It's like he decided to switch with Jeffrey Okudah. It's like, hey, guys, let's switch games. And then they just threw elements at each other, and they became different. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's still injured or what. I want him to get better, but he should have been benched last game with the 6 penalties, 5 and he was been awful. So hopefully he can get it together. What do you think? Do you think he's drugged? Do you think that he didn't eat his Cheerios like the last month? What's going on with Amani?
Yeah, that feels probably what the answer is. I mean, there's probably a lot of things you could point to, but it's probably that he maybe bought the wrong type of milk, which is possible. Sometimes you get the wrong percentage. Hey, there's 5% milk. Is that what that's gonna throw you off. You get 5% milk, it's a wrap, man. I don't know what he's drinking. He's got so that feels legit. That's probably what's going on with the money. It's probably the milk situation. But I will say this: when Jerry Jacobs gets healthy, I think there's going to be a legit competition. I don't know if they will ever make competition out of this year.
It's Jerry's job.
To me, bro, I thought Jerry was a better corner last year. But to me, I would make it a very legit competition. Like, hey, you guys are fighting for this spot. I don't think the Lions will, though. I don't think the Lions will. I think they'll rock with Amani.
I think it's got to be JJ's job, man. The guy is a stud. He has done a phenomenal job with his body. Met him in person. He is built like DK Metcalf. You just don't know it. And like, this dude's a stud. I can't wait for him to save us in the secondary right there. It says Mike for president. Are we cursed with the second-round picks? Yes, we are cursed. And I've been trying to do human sacrifice for a while. I've been trying to get other YouTubers like Dosa Dion and Curtis Steele, get TAAG. I wanted to find somebody to sacrifice to the gods to remove this curse for the second round, but it hasn't worked. For some reason, they're not replying back to my DMs. And he's not going to answer. So, yeah, we are definitely cursed.
To sacrifice, man. What are we supposed to sacrifice?
We got to sacrifice somebody. We got to find somebody to sacrifice. And they got to take one for the team. Yes, we do. Dose, your boys in the first pick'ems from you start week 1. When will Levi be a starter? Does even Levi play this year, Dose? Do you even think he plays this year?
I would say he plays a little bit at the end of the year, man. I got to keep faith in him. They didn't put him on IR immediately, so I don't want to like count him out. But do I think he'll start this year? No, I don't think he'll start at all this year. But I think he'll play this year.
We need to get production out of him. I've lost faith in Levi and Wuzurike because of the injuries, and I'm being real here. The chronic back pain is something that I deal with, and it just doesn't go away. It's not something that gets better, so I'm sad about that. I think Pascal, though, he probably will. I'm just going to assume maybe after the bye week. What do you think about Pascal? We need him in there. I want to see him as well play.
Yeah, I think that's it's even more crucial to get him without having John Kaminsky. I think it's going to be super important. So depending on when those schedules lap, I don't know. But I think what Kaminsky brings is so much interior pass rush, and I think he's ready-made. Like, I think we've drafted guys like Rodriguez. We've drafted guys that have had multiple years of experience in college versus a Levi who had things that you knew you're going to have to work with, but they had a high upside. He's one of those ready-made players to me. So I think you put him in as soon as he's ready, probably in a smaller role, and he brings to you some of what Kaminsky brought to us.
I don't know how you guys listen to us talk, but if you're listening, you might as well hit that like button. Go ahead and smash it. Let's get to 50 likes. We're 8 away. If you enjoy the pain of our voices, we'll be a little more pain. Smash that like button. We have to get Hawk in the game, or how can we get Hawk involved? How do we do it? You're gonna have to scheme plays for him to get it done. I don't know if it's Jared Goff not looking or if it's Ben Johnson. What do you think the problem is here with the Hawk situation? I think it's kind of scheme. What do you got?
Yeah, I think it's a scheme thing because I really don't think it's – personally, I may be alone. I don't think it's an issue about the targets that he got like specifically last week. I don't think it's a problem. I think he's a very big factor in the red zone, and that's where I expect to continue to see him. But outside of that, I think, we used him in different areas, but I think what you have is you have more weapons now. So the idea is we get Chark on certain matchups. And I think we're doing a lot of things based on what the coverage tells us. I don't think we're always going out there with, we know the ball is going to this guy and this play is being created for Hawk. There were times last year where the play was just created to go to Hawk. I think we're doing a lot more what the coverage tells us, which is leading to, certain guys against certain matchups. Sometimes you get Hawk in the slot and the ball's going there. But I don't think personally, what do you think, Mike? I don't think it's an issue, the targets that he got last week. I thought it was fine.
I just want him to get involved. He doesn't have to be the main guy. He got a touchdown. Mm-hmm. I like that involvement. I like Goff throwing his way, but he is the 8th overall pick from a couple years ago. He is a matchup. He can be a matchup nightmare. So, yeah, he doesn't have to be getting 70, 80 yards a game. I don't need that from him, but I want to see him get involved. I want to see him get touchdowns. I want to see him get targets. He is a big body. And he is a target in the red zone. That's why we got this guy. I think it's sad to see a Brock Wright get the same amount of yards as a T.J. Hockenson. I love Brock Wright, but we're talking about T.J. Hockenson here. I want to see him involved a little. And with Amon-Ra St. Brown potentially being out, this is an ample opportunity for him to get that done. Yeah, everyone's got to get something at some point, right? Jerry Jacobs just tweeted he's back at practice, but a couple weeks out yet.
Fire!
What's happening?
We got my precious. He's my precious. That I would say after the bye week, Jerry Jacobs returns. That's great news, man.
All right. Hey, maybe he plays this week, man. You don't know.
Schmeagol. That's Schmeagol, dog. And that'll be the Dallas Cowboys, too, so that'd be a great Great game to return.
Ooh, yes, it would be.
Because their offense ain't that good, but they got a good defense. If we can just score a little bit more points than them, I think we have a chance. Hashtag FGB. Love the hashtag FGB. Does Jamal get over 100 yards rushing on Sunday? Ooh, I love this one. Lionor Douchebag is in the chat. I love it. She is cool. I'm telling you what, we're going to war, me and her. Week 5 fantasy football, we're both undefeated. If I win, she's got to wear a MicroMike shirt and be repping me. If I lose, I got to wear Tim Boyle.
Wait, you got a Tim Boyle shirt?
Yeah, I don't got one, but I'm going to have to do something. We're Tim Boyle. We did the agreement. We did the agreement just about an hour ago. We came to terms on the contract details of fantasy football. And so she's going to be wearing my stuff because she's going to lose. But
right.
Yeah, and we already know that. Let's see.
You don't even need to get the Boyle thing, yeah.
Yeah. Trade Hawk. A lot of that in the comment section. Okay, would you trade Hawkinson? Say we decide we're not using this guy, and because we haven't been. It just continues on. Trade deadline comes up. If we're not using him, we're not going to pay him. Should we trade him?
Man, it's tough, man. It really is. It's tough because I really think there's an argument to say, yeah, you should look into it if you're going to get something good in return. If someone's throwing us like a 6th round pick, like, no, man, I don't want that. I don't know. I don't think I'm not going to do it yet. I don't think I'd do it this year unless I got blown away. Because one thing is for him, I think he's I want to see how many games he plays this season. But like you said, right, St. Brown's dealing with something. We saw Josh get banged up in that game. So we don't know how the flows are going to go of this season. And also we're having but then there's also the flip side, which is James Mitchell's a healthy scratch. So you want to get him in the game soon, probably. But yeah. So I can see it, but I think I would want to hold him for this year for sure, just to see where it goes, because then if you're going to be talking contract extension, all those things, like he's not I don't know. It's tough, man. It's a really good question. I don't know. I have
Nancy. I'm a
trader. Sit back and think about it.
I want to get James Mitchell on the field. Brock Wright in there. You got Zane Silstra. You give me a late first-round pick to a team that's competing, like the Rams. I'm not saying the Rams because obviously we got their first pick, but a team that is competing. We get their late first-round pick. We're talking 3 first-round picks.
Shoot, I'd do a first-round pick.
But
what if someone threw you a 4th-round pick?
Hell no, I'm not doing a 4th-round pick.
Wait. What did Golden Tate give us when we traded him mid-season?
Yeah, the difference is T.J. Hawkinson's young, and he's got.
No, for sure. I'm just trying to feel where you're at here. Would a 3rd-round pick do it?
No, 3rd-round pick's not going to do it. You giving me a high
you don't want
second or a late first?
Picks. I already know you don't want the 2nd-round picks.
God. By the way, yeah, you screw up, get a 2nd-round pick there. But you're gonna have to, look at your team competing. You're one player away. Hey, give me your 1st-round pick. You're getting a talented tight end. He is talent. It's not the lack of talent. It's just we're not using him. Give me a late 1st-round pick.
Yep.
There we go.
I'm with you there.
The 100 yards rushing from Jamal Williams. Forgot to answer that. Do you think he get 100 yards rushing? I'm going to say this. Yes, he does. He gets 100 yards rushing Sunday. And I think Craig Reynolds should be utilized more, by the way. I think he should. But
there you go.
We're going against a team that sucks against the run. 31st rank defense regarding run stuffing. And we just continue to give the ball to Jamal Williams. He's going to feast. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just all comes down to carries with him. I would say no. I don't think he gets enough touches, but I do think he's easily capable. Like, he'll be on pace too. So I'm with you there, and we will see more Craig this week without Swift, I would expect.
I love this comment here. Dallas Cowboys need a tight end. And I tell you what, we always trade with these guys. Roy Williams, that's who we traded with before, and they're in. Jarrah, he's always aggressive, and if after we play them, it would obviously not be before. That could be a destination, and they'll probably have a later 1st-round pick. I'm not saying they're going to win their division. I think that's the Philadelphia Eagles, but they look like a team that potentially could be a wild card. And if they're not, F it. We get a better draft pick. So, yeah, let's do it. Hashtag douche. That's a... Y'all come up with some ridiculous ones. Fair 9 Drinks. He says, I bet Mike would be in big trouble if came home wearing Nicole's gear. Hey, what happens on this stream stays on this stream. Nobody else needs to know. Just don't share it, okay? Well, share it. Just don't share it with anybody that is associated with me. We're good to go there. We are good to go there. Hashtag FGB Dose. What's your early Super Bowl prediction?
And I got to take the Lions out of this one because you know where I'd be going with this. No,
Lions are going to face the Detroit Lions, and the Lions win the Super Bowl 90 against the Detroit Lions 0.
Woo, that's a good one. I think I like the Chiefs, man. I think right now I'll go Chiefs. I think the NFC is wide open though. I really do. Who would be front running for that? I'll go Chiefs and Rams because I'm not concluding the Lions.
I'm gonna just stay with what I've been doing, and that's Bills and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Philadelphia Eagles, I have them. They're a scary team.
Yeah.
But I started out the season with those two, so I'm gonna end it with those two. Tom Brady tries to get another freaking ring, be a Lord of the Rings right there. But the Bills, I know they lost to the Miami Dolphins. They're still a juggernaut of a team. Can we give Justin Jackson touches? Oh, yes, I want him to get touches. I think he is a player that must get touches. He has that speed that Reynolds and Williams do not have. I want him to get touches. I wonder if they bring up Jamar Jefferson from the practice squad. You think they do that?
No, but I would like it.
Nope.
I'd be down
They ain't
for
doing
it.
Lionor of Douchebaggia says, maybe I'll design something just for the occasion. By the way, tough break in fantasy last weekend. Yeah, if you're going against me or her, you're in a tough break because we're the only undefeated ones. And it's terrible. Poor clock management. What can Dan Campbell do to change his clock management? Because it has been poor.
Play Madden a little bit. I mean, really, like just see it from a different angle. Because, dude, like I've had questions about this going back to last year, man. Like when you really think about it, some of his decision making, of course, it's always like if it works and that kind of thing. But just some of it doesn't make sense to me. Like this one, I just didn't feel like a Dan Campbell thing. It almost felt like he overthought it with the timeout. But then I go back to last year and I see against Chicago when he decided to try to go for it on fourth down and then the game ended. It's like, man, why would we just take the field goal? Like we were like rushing that one. So I don't know. That's not to say I think everyone's been bad, but I think, sometimes you just got to play a little Madden, man. You just got to see it from that angle. Get the time down. You're not thinking too much, and you got it. That's what I would do. What would you do, Mike?
I was just having your face look at the camera for a while without anything. I was being a jerk right there. Oh, man, anytime you got Dose and Mike on, it's going to go off the rails real quick. Like, we like to have fun. We like to spit facts and do that, but we also like to have a little bit of fun. Bots on YouTube suck. Yes, they do. So what was your question? Oh, the clock management. That's what it was. What does he need to do? Play chess. You also got to use that that timer.
Yeah.
No, what he needs to do is slow down, man. Give his coaches the responsibility, him be head coach. Okay? I think you're doing a little too much. Just be head coach. Look at the big picture. If you're doing 5 million things, then it's gonna be hard to do the little things. You're not thinking with the big picture. You're looking at the micro view. Take a step back, macro view. Look at this bad boy. Let the guys do their job, and then you do your job so you don't F it up like we did against the Minnesota Vikings. We don't want that. We definitely don't. That's what I would suggest. I have faith he'll figure it out. New offensive play caller in Motor City, Dan Campbell, is still bit green. Give him time. Well, we have to give him time. He's got a 6-year contract. And by the way, nobody is saying fire this guy on here. Getting mad or anything like that. That is ridiculous. If this continues into next year, we're talking year 4, year 5, we could talk about it, but right now, that's not even in the equation. John Kapler, should we draft a kicker in the 6th round? Hell yes, we should. Yes. Why not, man? Like, if you look at the draft picks that we got last year, some of these guys ain't even playing. They're in the practice squad. You got Mitchell, he's being inactive. You got Chase Lucas, who's going to be inactive. Now we're going into year 3. Let's get some players that will be on the field. And kicker, right now is one of those. And I know a lot of people laugh at kickers, except for you. You are a big into kicker, but they can win you and lose you games. So let's get the best freaking kicker in college football, throw him on this football team for the next 20 years like we did with Jason Hansen. We need to have a good guy. You know, kickers' lives matter. They do. Talk about kickers. I know you love it.
You know, it makes me like think of the Browns and like a Cade York over there. I mean, I love the kickers, man, and you're right. You made a absolutely great point there. Is that usually day 3 picks, they don't play, but a kicker, I would say, majority of the time does play. So as long as they're good off the field, they're going to play, and they're probably going to start. So why not? I mean, it feels weird in the moment because, like, man, look at all these dudes available, and you're getting caught up in names and things like that. But when you really step back, how many players in day 3 usually play? Not many. And, you know, we'll see where we're at. We'll see where we're at next year. But I think if you come in to the draft thinking that is something that you need to add, it won't seem like why did we make that decision? And I feel like by where you can be next year or next year's draft, we won't. I mean, like, we can use. I think we're gonna have flexibility to use a pick like that. We won't need to go get a 5th running back or something in that round.
Now it's week 4 is coming up, and I know a lot of people says get a guy off YouTube, off the kick. Oh, you're talking about what's that kicker off YouTube?
I know who you're talking about.
I know you.
I can't think of his name right now.
I can't think of his name. He has tried. I actually is a legit kicker. Look, go ahead and draft your kicker. That's what it is. I can't even think of the name, but I know what it is. I have no problem with that. Getting like if Jack Fox was in the draft, you knew what he was. Would you waste a 6th round pick on him? Hell yeah, I would. I would draft Jack Fox for knowing the weapon that he is. So if you could get a kicker, destroying, that's what it is. So if you could get a kicker that is a weapon like that, yes. I don't have to worry. Okay, we can get that field goal. I'm not worried about missing it and freaking losing by a field goal. We win by a field goal. So kickers' lives matter. They do. Hashtag deaf guy. What the hell? What position do y'all think we're going to address first in next year's draft? Look, we're talking about week 4, and the draft is already coming up. And it's going to keep coming up. We know this, Dosa, as content creators. Looking right now, what we've seen, what position do you think we must address in the draft? It has to get addressed. Stop messing around.
Yeah, I'm thinking depending on how much we see of Levi, I would think DT or cornerback. That's kind of where I'm thinking. I love Aleem. I love what he's doing. Bugs would be great for rotational, and then we'll see where Levi. If Levi doesn't play, I think you got to look in that area because I think you get Aleem. You got Pascal's going to be like your defensive end with Kaminsky. Like you're going to have a nasty D line, and that's something Holmes will do. Or get a cornerback across from Okuda, knowing that Amani's not going to be under contract. You got Jerry. You got all those guys. I get in their corner.
What about quarterback?
I would say no. As of right now, I don't think the Lions will do it. I don't believe they're going to do it.
Where do you think? Well, let me ask you this question because where do you think we're going to be at in the draft right now? Where do you think we're positioned? If we're top 5, they're taking a quarterback. I'm just
for sure
that right now. But where do you think we're going to be at? Do you think we're a playoff team still? Do you think that we'll be in the 20s? Do you think we'll be in the 8, 7? Where do you think?
It's a good. Like I thought coming in we'd be a wild card team, and I think we showed that we can beat any team in the North. It's concerning that we lost that last one because I know how important it's going to be. But I think you come back and you beat Seattle like we expect them to. If they go into the bye really just playing the way they should, I think they should be 3-2. I think they're still a playoff team. So I would say somewhere in the 20s.
Okay. So if you're a playoff team, I don't think they'd go quarterback. That's my personal opinion. I think if we suck and we're not, I think they're going to take a quarterback because of the quarterbacks that are in this draft. There's a lot of quarterbacks. But I think the number one need – linebacker. My God, we need to get a linebacker up in there. And look, I know Brad Holmes don't like taking linebackers early in the draft. I don't give a damn. I want to get a linebacker that is going to be we need help stopping the run, and we need a guy that can able to control the middle of the field. We started with Malcolm Rodriguez, okay, but Derek Barnes is not looking too good. You know, we're talking about we got a Calzone in there that is a veteran guy. I want to get a young stud linebacker up in that mug right there. That's what I want to get. What do you think about linebacker?
Man, I struggle I'm with you though. Like I don't think the value will be there for Brad, man. I don't think he'll do it. Now, could they draft one? Yes. I like what Alex has done. You said Malcolm's looked good. I think it makes sense to get another backer because you're right. Barnes is just he's not consistent for him. Board's a cool third down, but they don't really have like a guy that's going to be there for years aside from Malcolm. So I'm down with getting another backer. I just don't think the value would be there. Like what if I used? Come on, get with me here, Mike. What if we took our top 2 picks? We got the top defensive tackle and a top cornerback, and look with Jeff Okudah in the first round. Like that defense just got a lot better. Now I come back round 2, round 3, round 4, get a linebacker in there to kind of rotate in, knowing that Alex is the vet that he is. You would assume Malcolm's going to keep taking steps. Now that defense is looking like it doesn't have many holes, man. I think those are just 2 priority spots in today's NFL, and I think cornerback and DT would be where I
have no problem.
But I get with you.
I think corner for sure. We need to address the cornerback position. I'm just a little salty because we take Levi, take Joshua Pascal.
Yeah.
We've invested so much in the defensive line. It has not paid off yet. Interior-wise, not edges. Edges is a different story. I'm talking about interior. I'm tired of that. I want these guys to work out that we've drafted. That's what I want. And I'm hoping that Joshua Pascal comes in here and he can alleviate some of that. But I want a damn linebacker, too. I have been wanting a linebacker for a long time. We just ain't got one. No, just fix it. Fix this position, and we can go forward there. But there is a lot of stuff that we can look at. Defensive tackle, safety, cornerback, linebacker, quarterback, and kind of go from there. Either way, I think a lot of people realize defense needs to get addressed. Defense is a problem. Yeah, you get a linebacker in free agency too, a free agent. Either way, whatever you address in free agency, you can go to the opposite in the draft. So if you decide I'm going to pay a high price for a free agent linebacker, all right, well, good. You got us a linebacker. Okay, well, let's address the other need. Or if you do that with corner or whatever, I'm perfectly fine with that. Just address those effing needs. Because this defense ranked 31 is unacceptable for the Detroit Lions, man. That's cheeks, man. That is terrible ranking. We don't like that ranking, right. Dose. I know you don't. No. I think it frustrates you. It frustrates everybody. Patient. He says, Pascal will be awesome. Well, you guys are freaking awesome. And I appreciate everybody hanging out, listening to Dose of Dion, listening to myself talk some Detroit Lions. And we're going to have some more videos put on here for tomorrow. You're going to have Wide Receiver Wednesday, Herman Moore going to break it all down. Who's going to win that game? Detroit Lions versus the Seattle Seahawks. Herm's going to give his thoughts. Last thoughts for you before we get off the show. Dose of Dose.
Ooh, shout out to everybody that's in here. Get yourself some mango nectar because it's good. It looks like a juice box. And then I would also say, like I always say, enjoy each week. Because now, I mean, the season goes fast, man. We're about a quarter of the way in already. So just enjoy it, good, bad. Embrace it because it's a long off season.
Embrace the suck, folks. Sometimes it sucks. That's why I didn't really want to talk a whole lot about this last game that we faced. It's all going forward because that really, really effing sucked. We all know that.
Yep.
Again, appreciate everybody. I will see you all later. You can listen to a little jingle before we go.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be fucking sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it.